The parents who made me an orphan. I don't know if what I feel is anger or just emptiness. Maybe it's both. People talk about forgiveness like it's some inevitable destination. You hurt, you heal, you forgive. Like time is supposed to sand down the sharp edges until all you're left with is something soft, manageable. But here I am, 32 years old, and the edges are still sharp. My parents abandoned me when I was 11. Not metaphorically. Not emotionally distant. They literally packed their bags, left me with an elderly grandmother who was already half blind and broke, and disappeared to start fresh. And now 2 decades later they want my help. Dash. It's strange trying to piece together memories of them now, because it feels like remembering strangers. I know their faces from old photos, I know their voices in the same way you know the voice of an actor from a movie you've seen too many times, but the emotional connection? That's gone. When I was little, I thought we were just a normal struggling family. My dad worked odd jobs, construction, delivery, whatever he could get. My mom waitressed at a diner. We lived in a cramped apartment with peeling wallpaper and leaky faucets, but I didn't care. I thought we were happy because I didn't know what happy really looked like. They fought a lot. I remember screaming matches about money, about blame, about how life was unfair. My dad would slam doors, my mom would cry into dishwater. I'd hide in my room with a pillow over my ears. But in between the fights, there were moments. My mom brushing my hair before school. My dad teaching me how to ride a bike in the empty parking lot. I clung to those moments like proof that they loved me. Turns out love wasn't enough for them. Or maybe it never really existed the way I thought it did. Dash. I still remember the night they left. I was 11, sitting on the couch doing homework. My parents were pacing the living room, whisper fighting. I couldn't make out every word, but I caught pieces. We can't do this anymore. We'll figure it out. She'll be fine with your mother. And then my mom crouched in front of me, tears in her eyes, and said, "We're going away for a while. You'll stay with grandma." Asterisk. I didn't understand. I asked, "For how long?" She kissed my forehead instead of answering. The next morning, they were gone. 2 duffel bags missing from the closet, their shoes gone from the doorway, their voices gone from the walls. Just gone. No letters. No phone calls. No birthday cards. No explanations. Just absence. Dash. Grandma did her best. She was old, frail, and poor, but she kept me alive. She made sure I went to school, kept food on the table even if it was just soup and bread, and told me stories at night so I wouldn't cry myself to sleep. But it wasn't enough. I became the adult faster than I should have. By 13, I was working part-time jobs to help pay rent. By 15, I was skipping school some days to cover shifts because grandma's health was failing. When she passed away during my senior year, I was 17 and alone in every sense of the word. I scraped by couch surfing, working any job I could get, finishing high school with grades just good enough to graduate. College wasn't even a dream. Survival was the only priority. I never heard from my parents. Not once. Dash. I was 25, working as a mechanic, when I saw them for the first time in 14 years. They walked into the shop, hand in hand, like a couple on vacation. My dad's hair was grayer, my mom's face thinner, but it was them. They looked at me like they discovered a long-lost cousin. Smiling. Nervous but expectant. "Wow," my mom said. "You've grown so much." I stared at them. I couldn't even speak. My dad clapped me on the shoulder like we'd just been apart a few months. "We've missed you, kiddo." Kiddo. I wanted to punch him. Instead, I just walked away, into the back of the shop, and didn't come out until they left. Dash. They tried again, Of course. Letters. Calls. Showing up at my apartment once. Always with the same story. We were young. We didn't know how to handle life. We thought your grandmother could give you more stability. We needed to find ourselves. Find themselves. I was a child. Their child. And they abandoned me to find themselves. Do you know what that does to a kid? It teaches you that you're disposable. That love is conditional. That at any moment, the people you rely on can decide you're too heavy a burden and walk away. Their excuses didn't matter. They wanted forgiveness, but forgiveness requires remorse that matches the crime. And all they gave me was regret coated in selfishness. Last month, I got a letter from them. Handwritten. 3 pages. They're in their 60s now. My dad's sick cancer, stage 3. My mom is his caretaker, but she's struggling. They don't have money. They don't have support. They're drowning. And suddenly, they remember they have a child. They want me to help. Financially. Emotionally. Physically. They want me to be the dutiful son they didn't bother to raise. The letter was full of lines like, * family should stick together. * we always loved you, even if we made mistakes. * we need you now more than ever. I read it once, folded it neatly, and put it in a drawer. And I haven't responded. Because family isn't just blood. Family is showing up, over and over, even when it's hard. Family is sacrifice, commitment, love that doesn't vanish when things get tough. They weren't my family when I was 11 and scared. When I was 17 and burying my grandmother alone. When I was 20 and sleeping in my car. They chose themselves over me. And now, I'm choosing myself over them. It's not revenge. It's not hatred. It's simply balance. They made me an orphan, and now they will die as strangers. Do I feel guilty? Of course I do. There's a voice inside me that whispers, * you're letting them suffer. You're no better than they were. *. But then I remember the little boy sitting on that couch, asking how long they'd be gone, and never getting an answer. I remember the birthdays spent staring at the door, hoping it would open. I remember crying myself to sleep at 16, wondering why I wasn't enough. And I realize, I already gave them everything they deserved. Nothing. So here it is, I will not help my parents. Not now, not ever. Let the world judge me. Let strangers call me cold, heartless, bitter. I've carried the weight of abandonment for 20 years, I can carry this too. Because forgiveness isn't owed. Family isn't owed. Love isn't owed. And they taught me that the hard way. So no, Mom and Dad. You don't get my help. You don't get my love. You don't get to come back into my life at the 11th hour and rewrite the ending. You left me once. This time, I'm leaving you.